So till now we have created this basic blogging website where we have a home page and we have a new post button where we can upload a thumbnail, where we can enter title, body, and we can post it. Okay, but currently my page is like anyone who goes to this URL can upload a new blog, and I don't want that. I want only the registered user who is registered on my page should have the access or should have the ability to post some data. Okay, it's not like that anyone should come and post the data on my website. So I want an authentication system which will take the data from the user, that is his personal data, name, his username, password, and all of that, and then log him into my system. And once he is logged in, then I can tell him that yes, now you can post a new blog. Okay, so for that we'll need two pages. One is register page, that is sign up page. If he is for the first time coming over here, then he should sign up. Okay, that is, he should create his profile into the database, and once the profile is created inside the database, he should be able to log in. And once he is logged in, he is ready to even view the data and edit the posts. Fine. So for that we'll need again two buttons over here, that is, we should go to a login page and we should be able to go to a register page. Okay, so let's try to create two new buttons over here, that is a login button and register button. Fine. So for that, this we need to edit this navbar, and this navbar is located in our base layout. Okay, so let's go to our base layout, that is inside the root templates and base layout. So here we need to create two more buttons, which will be register and login. So we have a button for new post over here. So now what we'll do is we'll just copy a link and paste it again two times, and we'll change it from contact to login, and we'll change it to register. Okay, so with that we need to give it a URL, right? If we click a new post button, then it is taking us to a URL new post. Suppose we click this login button, it should take us to a URL of login, and if we click the register button, it should take us to this URL of register. Okay, so once that is done, we should see these two new buttons or two new links into our navbar. So let's try to refresh it, and here you can see there is login and register. Okay, you can also shift it to this side of the page. Just what you need to do is take this and paste it near the search button or the search bar. Okay, so currently it is, let it be over here. I'll keep the designing part up to you guys, design however you want. Okay, so now if I click on login, so it is taking me to a URL /blog/login. Okay, so currently we are not handling that URL, so it is giving us page not found. And if we click on register, this is taking us to a URL /blog/register, because blog is our base URL for this blog app, right? So after blog, whatever is there, we need to register in the blog app. So we have this login and this URL, two new URLs. So we need to register them into a urls.py file. Okay, so let's do that. What I'll do, I have now two new URLs. I'll go to my blog app, into the urls.py file. I have to register them, saying path login. Once we go to login, we should call a function of, we'll again give it the same name of login. And if we go to a path called register, then it should take us to a function called register, and both these functions are coming from views.py file, so we need to import them. Okay, so login and register. Okay, currently this should give us an error because we don't have these two functions inside our views.py file. So let's create these two functions of login and register. Okay, so let's go to our views.py file. Here we need to create a function define login, which is going to handle a request. Okay, and what we need to give over here is return render request, and we need to give a login page, right? So we need to create this login page inside our template directory. So we'll just say login.html. Fine. and then we also need a page for register. So we'll do define register request and then return, and this is going to render out the register page. So we'll just say register dot html. Okay, so I hope everything is clear till now. We don't have to go much into detail because this is the cycle that we are repeating from the first day. URL will call a function and that function is going to render out an HTML page. Okay, so now let's create these two HTML pages, that is login.html and register.html. So here I am inside my templates and inside it blog folder. So let's create a new file, that is login.html, and another file which will say is register.html. Okay, so now we have these two pages, login.html and register.html. Also we need to extend this, that is we'll again extend it from the base layout. So we'll have our basic layout, that is the navbar and the jumbotron and all of that. So we'll just say extends. Okay, and then we have to create a block there where we have to write all our content. So we'll just create block content and we also have to end it. Okay, so inside this I'll just currently write an h1 tag saying this is the login page, and for now we'll just give it a class of text center. This is the bootstrap class. Okay, similar thing we need to do into a register page. So I'll just copy it and go to my register.html, paste it over here, and instead of saying login page I'll just say it as the sign up page or the register page. Let's say it as sign up page. Okay, so now the whole thing is completed. We have our URLs, that is the login and register. We have two functions for them and we have created those two functions. Those two functions are rendering out the login.html and register.html. We have created the two HTML files over here which are extending the base layout, and they are just currently saying login page and register page. Okay, sign up page. So let's try to refresh this. Okay, refresh. If I go to login, this is going to give me login page. If I go to register, this is going to give me sign up page, and make sure this complete thing is same because we are extending the base layout. Okay, so login and register, fine. So now we have to create a form over here. We'll complete the register first. So we have to create a form over here that is going to take data from the user, right? And what is the data that we need? Suppose we need username, first name, last name, his email ID, his password, make re-enter the password, like all those stuff, right? So we'll be needing it over here. So we are going to create a form, and to create a form we'll again use Bootstrap. So let's go to Bootstrap and the website of Bootstrap. Here in the components you will see forms. Where is it? Forms. So we have used the forms earlier to create the input form for the blog. So now we are going to create a form in order to take data from the user, that is his sign up data. Okay, and what do we need right now is which type of form can we use. You can select any type of form that you need. Okay, so we can use this first name, last name. We can use this sign up form which will have email address, password, address 1, address 2. Okay, there I'll leave it up to you guys. Whichever form you want, you can just pick it up for the designing. So currently I'll use only the base form that they have given, which has it email ID and password, and we'll change it a little bit. So what I'll do, I'll just copy this out, go to my register.html. okay, here we will create a container first. Okay, and inside this container we'll just paste our form. Okay, once this form is pasted, we shall see the form into our sign up page, and here it is. We have email address and we have password, but right now we don't need only email address and password. We need the complete sign up data. So what we need username, first name, last name, email address, and password and re-enter the password. Okay, so let's create those fields inside this form. So what all we can edit is, So we don't need this, we'll just edit it little bit. Okay, we need password, and we also, I'll just copy out this password and paste it again, saying re-enter the password. Okay, and instead of saying password, I'll say re-enter password. Fine, and we can fine. So now we have the two password fields ready, that is password 1 and password 2. Then we have our email address, but we also need first name, last name, and a username. Okay, so let's create that. I'll just copy this complete div over here. Okay, copy, and above it I'll just paste it, and instead of saying email address now, I'll say username, and type we'll set it at text. Okay, and we'll change the placeholder also, that is now it should say username. Okay, that is done. So let's try to paste it again. Now we need the first name, okay, and once that is done, I'll again copy this whole div, paste it again for the last name. Okay, that is done, and we'll just paste it as last name. Okay, so now our complete form is ready. We have username, first name, last name, email address, password 1, and re-enter the password, and then there is a submit button, and we'll just, instead of submit, we'll say it as sign up button. Fine. Okay, so if I refresh this page, I should see a complete sign up page over here, which is asking me for username, first name, last name, email address, password, and re-enter password, and then there is this sign up button over here. Okay, so this is the sign up page that we will be using. You can design it anyhow you can want. Just go to Bootstrap, and here you can have all the type of inputs, input groups, and all of that stuff. Okay, so currently I'll just leave it as basic. So once we enter the data over here, that is username, first name, last name, email address, and both the password, and if I hit sign up, we need to post this data to a URL that is going to collect this data and register this user into our database, right? Similarly, as we did for the post, we entered the post inside a form, we entered a block data inside a form, then we submitted the block data to a URL, and that URL request means we submitted it using a post request, then we handled that request and we collected the data from the request and stored it inside a database. Okay, similar thing we need to do over here, and in order to do that, first step is you need unique names for each and every field to retrieve that data. Okay, so let's try to give a name to each and every field, as we don't have names for them. Okay, so what we need to do, I'll just give a break over here so it will look little bit better. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to give names for each and every field. So let's give name. We have a placeholder, and name equal to, we'll just say username. Then we have first name, so we'll just say name equal to f name, which means first name. Then we have name equal to l name, means last name. Email, I'll give it name as pass1 because this is the first password, and I'll say name equal to pass2 in order to, this is the second password. Okay, so right now we have names for all the fields that we have. So once that is ready, we need to tell the form where you have to submit this data and how you have to submit this data. So the first thing we need to tell this form is that the method of post. Okay, you need to post this data, and where do we have to post this data? We have to post this data to a URL called register. Okay, So I think a spelling mistake. Okay, so that is clear. The form is going to post this data on a URL of register, and we have just give names to each and every field. Fine. So I hope that is very easy and clear. Now inside our views.py file, we need to retrieve this data that is coming from the URL in method of post. Okay, so we'll go to our urs.py file, and this is our register URL, right? The register URL is calling this register function. So what we are going to tell this function, if request dot method equal post. Okay, then we have to handle that complete data that is coming, else we have to render out this page. If the method is not post, if it is a get request, then we have to render out this page. If the method is post, then we have to handle the data that is coming. Okay, so let's try to handle it. We'll just create the variables of username equal to method, sorry, not method, request dot post, and the name that is coming is again username. Okay, so I'll just copy this, that will be much easier. Okay, so now we have to handle everything, that is the first name which is coming as fname, then we have to handle the lname, that last name that is coming as lname, then we have email, which is coming as email, and then we have the two passwords, that is pass1 and pass2. Okay, pass1 and we'll just create pass2 equal to request dot post okay. So now we have all the data that is coming from this post request. Okay, so is it clear to everyone till now what we are doing? We haven't done anything special till now. Is it clear? Okay, so this is not something new that we are doing. We just created an input form as we saw in yesterday's lecture. Then that input form is going to post all your data into a URL, that is the register URL. The register URL is calling the function register into a views.py file, and we are telling inside that function that if you are getting a post request, then retrieve all the data that is coming from the post request. Okay, so now we have all the data inside these variables, username, fname. Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to create an object of our model, but as you can see, we haven't created any model for user. So do we have to create a model that will store all this data inside the columns? The answer is no, because in the first lecture only we saw that Django automatically provides user authentication. We don't have to explicitly create a model for a user, store the data and check the data and verify it and then save it. Okay, Django has already made that model for you, and you just have to import that model. Okay, so how can we import that model from Django? Is from, we have to say from Django dot contrib dot auth means authentication dot models import user. Okay, so this is how you import this user model from Django. Okay, here you can see we have imported this blogs model from the models file that we have created on our own. But as Django has created this model for user inside its folders, so we just have to import that and we don't have to create this user on our own. Okay, so what's happening over here is that we are importing this model user, which has inbuilt all the fields that we are handling from this file called django.contrib.auth.models. Okay, if you want, I'll just paste this command into the chat so you can copy it in your folders. Okay, so that is the command to import the user model, and just what we need to do, we need to create a new object of this model and save that object. Okay, as we created a new object for this blogs model and just saved it, similar thing we need to do over here. But first of all, we need to check if the user has really entered the same password or not. So what we'll do is we'll say if pass1 equal pass2. Okay, that means he have entered same password both the times. If he has incorrectly entered any one of the password, then we are going to not register him, right? So that is the main purpose of taking two passwords, right? We have to check if pass1 equal to pass2, then we have to create a new object of this user class. So what we'll say new user, that is the object name, equal to user, the model that we have just imported, user dot objects dot create user. Okay, it is going to provide a method called create user, and in this create user we need to pass in the data that we have just retrieved. Okay, so let's pass in whatever it needs. So I'll just check in the fields that this user provides. Okay, so the fields are username, first name, last name, email and password. Okay, so let's try to create that. We have username equal to username, that is this is the username inside the fields of this model, and this username is the username that we have retrieved from the request method. Okay, so username equal to username. Then there is a field called first name, and we have to assign it to f name, that is coming from the request. Then there is a field for last name, which is our L name, and then we have email, which is equal to email, that is coming from the post request, and then we have password, which is going to be pass1 or pass2, anything, because both are same. Okay, so now we have created this object, that is new user, and we have assigned it the values that we have retrieved from the post request. Okay, this username, first name, last name, email and password are basically the fields that are inside this user model, right? We have created a model that has fields title, body, thumbnail, date and reads, but this user model, which has been created by the Django himself, will have the fields of username, first name, last name, email and password. Okay, once this new object is created, we need to save it, right? So how can we save it? We just have to say new user dot save. Once your user is saved, you have to return him to some page. Okay, let's say home page will return him. So I'll just say return redirect, and where can we redirect him? To the home. So we'll just say SAS blog/home. Okay, so now once your user is successfully created, you need to return him to the home page. Fine. So let's try to create a user and let's see if he is successfully created or not. So this thing is everyone clear? We are not doing anything special over here. Just what we did yesterday. We just made a statement that if the request.method is post, then retrieve all the data that is coming from the form in the form of post request. And once that data is collected, we need to check if password1 is equal to password2. Then we are creating an object of this user model that we are imported from the Django, and it is providing a method of create user, and we just passed in all the value and saved that user. Okay, so let's try to create this user. I'll refresh my page and let's try to give in some username. Okay, so what can we give a username as? Let's say we have a dummy user is my username. I'll give him a first name as dummy and last name as dum. Okay, you can give any name there, as we are just checking if our code is correct or not. Okay, so we have a username, we have name, we have last name. So we'll just give him any random email. Let's say dummy@gmail.com. Then we need to enter same passwords. Okay, so I'll just put in dummy 1234 and dummy 1234. Okay, So once I click on sign up, this should take me to the home page and this user should be registered. Okay, so after I hit sign up, okay, so this is going to give me an error, CSRF verification failed because we have not provided the CSRF token. Okay, every form should have a CSRF token if it is posting some data to a URL. So let's create that CSRF token. Okay, so CSRF. Once that is done, we should go back, refresh it, and let's try to create him again. Dummy user. Okay. Okay, so now the data is complete, and if I hit sign up, now you can see that we have been redirected to our home page as we have specified it into our views.py file. And if we need to check if our user is successfully created or not, what you can do is you can go to your admin page and refresh it, go to the home, and here in users you can see that is a dummy user is created. Okay, I already have two users, that is Taral and a super user, but now a new user is created, that is dummy user, that has an email address, a first name and a last name, and staff status is negative because this is not a super user. Okay, a super user is the main head of your application and users are who can just log in and make some few changes. Okay, a super user can delete the users, but a normal user cannot delete super users, or a normal user cannot log in even into your admin page. Only your super users can log in into your admin page. Okay, so this is just a normal user. If I see his information, we have a username, we have a first name, we have a last name, and then we have his email address. We can also give him some permissions, that is we can give him super user permissions, we can filter him some data, and there are many much things. You can also see when is this created. This is created today, that is 25th July, and then you can also see when has he last logged in. His login history can be seen over here. So this is how basically login page work. Okay, you have his username and the password is now encrypted. You cannot directly see the password that I have created, that was dummy123. In it, it is also said that raw passwords are not stored, so there is no way to see the user's password. Okay, so this is the Django security that is providing that if someone breaks in into your system, he cannot see what the password of a user is. The passwords are in the encrypted form. Okay, so this is how you can create a user. So everything clear till now, how we can create a user? It is not much different from how we can create a blog. Okay, so once a registration is complete, we need to do login, right? Okay, so this registration thing is completed. We have handled this form. So now let's create a login form. Okay, and again to create a login form, we need to go to our Bootstrap where we can have this simple form over here. So let's collect this form, copy it, go to our login page. Where is it? This login.html that we created. We'll create a container for that form. Okay, and inside this container we'll just paste the form that we have copied. And if I go back to my login page, I see there is an email address and a password. Okay, so for login we don't need everything. We don't need his first name, last name, email address. We just need two fields, that is his username and his password. So let's change some little bit this email and password. We'll just keep password as password, but we need username over here. So if I go back, I'll just remove this thing and change this placeholder from email to username, type from email to text, and then instead of email address I'll just give him a label of username. Okay, So, and we don't need this check button right now. Okay, now this login form looks much better. We have a username and password, and once we enter username and password, instead of submitting, we can click or change it to login. Okay, so now this looks much better. We have a login form which will be collecting username and password and just logging in the users. Fine. So now how we can do that? Same process. This form will submit the data to a URL, and that URL will handle the user data. Okay, so not much you need to do. So I'll just quickly do that and we'll see forward. Okay, so now this form needs to post this data. Before that, we need to give names to our each and every input field. So I'll just give this name as username, and the password field should be named as pass. Okay, so now we have this username and password as pass. So once that is done, we need to tell this form that the method should be post and the action should be a URL, that is login. Okay, so now this form is going to post this data to a URL of login. This login URL is going to call this function login, and this function is inside our views.py file, and here we need to handle that post request. So we'll say if request.method equals post, then we need to handle that data. If not, else just render out the login form or the login page. Okay, so it is that simple. And again the same thing, we need to take the data that is coming from the form. So we'll save it inside some variables, username equal to request dot post, and the data that is coming is in the name of username. Again we need to take the password equal to request dot post, and it is coming in the name of pass. Okay, so now we have a username and password collected. So now how we can log this user into our system. Okay, so as we know that we can log in a super user by going to admin site. Similarly, we need to log this user inside our system, that is use the Django authentication system. For that we need two functions that Django provides, that is get the user and log them into the system. Okay, so for that let's see how we can do that. Okay, so this is the login user function that I've created already. Okay, so similar thing is happening over here. We are just asking him that if the request is post, take the username, take the password, and now how we can take the user, or how we can check the user if he is present inside our system or not. Okay, before logging him into the system, we need to check if the user is registered on our site or not. So for that we have this function called authenticate. Okay, and this function should be imported from Django inside the folder of where it is coming from. This is coming from auth. Okay, so now what we need to do inside our folder is that as we imported user, we also need to import a model of auth. Auth is basically the authentication model, and this authentication will check if the users are present inside your database or are they registered on a site or not. Okay, so once that is completed, we need to check this user. Currently we have his username and password. So what we can do is that we can just create a variable user, and we can just give him auth dot authenticate. Okay, what auth dot authenticate will do is it is going to check inside the database if this user with the specified username and password is present or not. If it is present, it is going to return that user inside this variable called user. Okay, so we need to pass in the username and we need to pass in the password. Okay, check for this user if it is present or not, and if the username and password are correct or not, and this function is going to return us the user himself. Okay, now what we need to check, we need to check if this function has returned the user or not. Okay, and how can we check it? We can check it by saying if user is not none. Okay, so what we can do over here is that we can say if user is not none. None means that nothing is returned. None means that user is not present into a system. Okay, so if user is not none, that is the user is present into a system, what we need to do, we need to log him in. And to log him in, we have another function that the Django provides, is that this login. And what do we have to log in? We have to log in this user. Okay, and where is this login function coming from? It is also again coming from a Django package, that is contrib.auth. Okay, so let's try to import those packages inside our folder. So what we say is from django.contrib.auth we are going to import login, and this login is a function which is going to log in the user that we are providing to this function. Okay, so we'll also import the logout for the use. So now we have login and logout. Okay, and inside our login function, what we did, we collected the data that is coming from the form, and we checked if the user of that data is present inside a database or not, and that we did by this authenticate function. Okay, so now if we have that data, we need to log him in using the function login. This login function is going to take a request and take the user that we need to log in. Okay, so now we have the user from the database, and we are using this login function to log that user inside our system. Okay, so user is logged in. Once the user is logged in, what we need to do is we need to redirect, and we need to redirect him to the home page. So we'll just say /blog/home. Okay, so this is how you log in a user into your system. Is that okay? This is giving an error saying we cannot have this function name login because Django already has the function with the same name. So we'll just change this name to login user. Okay, and we need to change the URLs also. So inside this, we need to change the name as login to login user. Okay, just make sure you don't give login as a name, because Django already has a function called login, and then it is going to clash with the function that we have created. So give it name as login user. Okay, so inside this function, we took the data from the form, we authenticated if the user is present inside the database or not, if the username and password are correct. If all these things are correct, it is going to return us that user, and then we are going to log in that user using this login function. And once that he is logged in, we are going to go back to the home page. Fine, so let's see now. If I refresh this, and our username was dummy user and our password was dummy1234. so if I go again, the CSRF verification failed. Login.html, here we have created this form. Go back, refresh, dummy user, password is dummy1234, and now if I do login, we didn't refresh this page or what? Dummy user, okay, I think we gave a wrong URL to the redirect statement. So if we go to use.py file and check our redirect statement, it should be /blog/home and not an extra slash. Okay, even a slash is going to create errors, so make sure you give exact URL that you have created. So /blog/home, and if we go back, refresh, username dummy user, password is dummy1234, hit login, and you are redirected to your home page. But if you need to check if really you are logged in using the dummy user or not, make sure you go back to your login page, hit refresh, and this should going to give you an error saying that you are authenticated as dummy user, but you are not authorized to access this page. Why? Because your dummy user is not your super user. Only super users can log in to your admin page. So once you get this error that you are authenticated as dummy user, you have successfully logged in by the dummy user that you have created. Okay, so with that we have successfully register a user, then we have successfully logged that user inside our page. Okay, so till here any doubt? How we can log them in? Basically the whole system is same. We have to create an input form, we have to handle the data that is coming from the input form, and then Django automatically provides the relative functions. Suppose we have to create a new user, then we have a function called create user. If you want to log in that user, we have a function called login. Okay, so it is not that hard. But the main thing that we need to see over here is, even if we are not logged in or even if we are not logged out, we are seeing this new post button, right? But we don't want that. Only if the user is logged in, then and then only we should see this login button, new post button. And if we are login, we should not see this login and register button, right? Because if you are already logged in into the system, you don't require this login and register button over here. You only require this new post button. And once, if you are not logged in or if you are not registered, you should not see this new post button over here. You should only see the home button and login and register option. So now how we can basically check that if the user is logged in, then show us the new post button. If he is not logged in, then show us login and register button. Okay, so let's create that little thing, and that can be done using again the conditional statements. And we know we can just say, if the user is authenticated, that is if the user is logged in, show us this new post button. If the user is not logged in, show us the login and register button. Okay, and that can be done inside the base layout where we have this nav bar. So let's go to our nav bar, that is the base layout.html, and here we'll tell him that what we can do over here is this new post button, we need to create a condition, right? So what we'll do is, again we'll write some HTML over here. We'll say if user dot is underscore then we have to show him this new post button, else we have to show him login and register button, and we'll just end this if. Okay, so if I go back, I hope this should work. Okay, fine. So currently we were logged in into as dummy user, so we are not seeing this login and register button. Okay, so let's try to log out this dummy user. What we'll do is we'll just logged in as our super user. Okay, so now I am now logged in into my super user, but again we can see over here is that we have a new post button because we are already logged in as a super user. So let's log out. This is the logout button. Okay, so right now I am logged out, that is no user is currently logged in into my system or logged in into my website. So now if I hit refresh, here you can see that the new post button has disappeared, and now it is asking you a login button and a register button. Okay, so if I click on login, this is going to take me to the login page. So let's log in as dummy user, and if I click login, this is going to take me to my home page, but now I don't see login and register over here. I see this new post button, and I can post this button, post new blogs over here. Okay, so if we go back, this is going to give us that you are authenticated as dummy user. So now we cannot every time go back to this admin page and then log out our user by logging in as super user. Okay, we need some functionality that is going to say that if you are logged in, you can just log out from this home page your own. Okay, so let's create a logout button over here. What we can do is we can just take this login as it is, copy it, paste it over here inside this if statement. If authenticated, we need to show log out, because if you're authenticated you need to log out. Okay, so and the URL is logout. So now if I hit refresh, this is going to give me a logout button, right? So now I can either post new content or I can log out from my existing login. So if I click on login, this is going to give me page not found because we have not handled this URL currently. So let's quickly handle that. Okay, so once we encountered this URL logout, we need to register it. So let's make that path. If we encounter logout, we should give it a function of logout user. Again, logout is a inbuilt function, so don't give logout, give the name as logout user, and let's try to import it. Okay, and once that is done, the URL part, we need to create this function here, define logout user. It is going to handle a request. And what we need to do over here is, it is very simple, as we have already imported this logout function from django.contrib.auth. As we imported login function, similarly we have imported this logout function. Okay, so now we need to write that logout function over here. Is that we just have to say logout request, and this statement, that is logout request, is going to log out your user. You don't have to pass in the user credential, that is username and password, because Django already know what your username and password is because you are currently logged in. Okay, as you are currently logged in, we don't have to pass in the username and password again to this logout function. We just have to pass in the request. So logout and the request. But as you had to log in for the first time, the Django don't know what your username and password is. That's why we have to pass in the user for login. But as you're already logged into the system, we don't have to pass the user again. We just have to pass the request. Okay, and once you are logged out, we'll just return it to the home page. So I hope this logout function should work. Okay, so let's try to go back, and currently we are logged in as the user, and if I click logout, you can see we have login and register. Okay, so now I am logged out from my system. That is, you cannot see that I am authenticated as dummy user, right? So if I go to login again, I'll log in to my system from dummy user, and I'll give it the password. And if I click login, here you see now we have new post and logout. So I can post new items and I can even log in from my system. So once I log out, here you can see I have login and register. Okay, so that is how the whole system of user authentication works. Okay, so is it clear what we did today? Any doubt in login, logout or register? Okay, so let's quickly revise what all we did in today's session, because I think it is it is not very complicated process. If you have understood the process of creating new blocks through the input form, creating new users is very easy. Okay, you don't have to create an explicit model, or you don't have to create a user model. Django already has the user model. You don't have to write the function for login, you don't have to write the function for logout. Django already provides the user authentication. It provides the function to create a user, it provides a function to log in the user and to log out the user. All you need to do is import the correct packages from correct place. Okay, so let's quickly revise everything. What we did first is we went to our base layout. Here we gave all the login button and the register button. Okay, so and we gave them some URL. Once login button is clicked, we are going to go to this login page. Once register is clicked, we are going to go to this URL of register. Okay, once that is done, we went to where did we go? We went to this views.py file. There we have handled this functions, or sorry, first we went to urs.py file. There we specified the path. If login is encountered, then make this function of login user. If you have register, then make the function of register. Then we created this functions over here. Okay, After these functions are created, we created templates, that is the register template, and inside the register template we created this form. Okay, this form is just the bootstrap form that we collected from bootstrap. Once this form is created, we gave names to each and every field. Okay, after that we specified the method, that is post, then the action where we need to post this data, and the CSRF token. Okay, once the post request is encountered, we handled all the data and we checked if password1 is equal to password2, then create a new object of user and create that new user by passing in all the data. Fine, and the data was basically just username, first name, last name, email and password. Once that is done, we saved that new user and we went back to the home page. Okay, now a user is successfully registered, that is a user model is created into a database. Fine, then we went to login. Again we created the same input form, and from in the login form we are taking the username and password, and then we are authenticating if the user is currently present into a database or not. Okay, and that is done by using this function of authenticate. Once he is authenticated, we get the user. If the user is not none, that is he should be present into your system. Okay, then you are logging that user in, and once that user is logged in, we are going back to our home page. Okay, so that is how we just registered and logged in our system. Okay, and then we made some changes into our nav bar. If the user is not authenticated, we should give him the option to log in or register. Okay, if he is authenticated, we should see the option of posting a new blog or logging out from the system. Okay, and we did that by going to our base layout, and we just wrote two if statements, one if statement and one else statement. That is, if user is authenticated, okay, if user is authenticated, that means the user is logged in, then show him new post and logout button. Else means that he is not authenticated, show him the login and register button. Okay, so that is how you do user authentication into your Django app. Fine, any doubt till now? Everything clear? Okay, so please try this user authentication into your app also. Okay, it is not really hard. If you can create blogs, you can create users, you can just log them in and import them and just do everything with the user authentication. Okay, so that is all for today's lecture. We have successfully implemented user authentication on a system. A user can log in, a user can log out. Once he is logged in, we are giving him the option to post some data. If he is not logged in, we are just making him onto our home page. Okay, that there is nothing more he can do, just view all the blogs. Then we have created register page, all these fields, we have created login page, and that is all. That is the user authentication in Django. Okay, fine. If you have any doubt, any errors, just put on the groups, and just if you have stuck somewhere or something is not clear, just make sure you check all the recordings again. And today itself I will be posting this complete code onto my GitHub page, and I'll send you the link so that you can refer my code also. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. We are almost done with our blogging app. There are just some minor details that we need to add, that we need to, if we go to this read button, we should be able to read our complete blog. Okay, currently we haven't implemented this read button right now, so we'll be doing that read button tomorrow, and if we get time, we'll be also seeing this search button also. Okay, so that's the only two functionalities that are left into our blog, and once that is done, we have successfully created this complete website of Simple Blog. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night, and make sure you complete this website. Bye bye.